but in the right places, they can be downright dangerous. This is an issue that not only applies to my views, but to the full spectrum of them. We've seen the riots in our cities, the violence in our streets, and we have seen America's desperate need for more discussion. So why haven't we done anything? In the wake of the 2016 election, America is more ideologically divided than ever, and this division is trickling down into our everyday life, affecting who we talk to, who we listen to, and who we choose to surround ourselves with. We've slowly evolved into a culture where small differences of opinions can escalate into violence, where bad things are just boxed away and shunted aside. With animosity pushing our nation apart, it's time we end our excommunication of ideas and open ourselves to those with different beliefs. But before changing our attitude entirely, we have to understand why this ideological isolation exists in the first place and how it impacts us. Our problem starts with the worrying push to remove uncomfortable or offensive topics from discussion, especially on college campuses. More and more, we're seeing students and administration push for practices like safe spaces and trigger warnings, ideas that are good in theory, but flawed in practice. Jonathan Hayden, a social psychologist at New York University, explains that these systems have the good intention of protecting those who have faced intense discrimination. But they have been transformed, belittled into systems that only serve to coddle the American mind. They've become a core part of a movement to censor out words, and essentially to censor out discussion itself. Jonathan Hayden continues to explain that the less inclusive discussion we see in our education systems, the more radicalization of ideas we are going to see within these student groups. Conservative speakers such as Ben Shapiro and Kathleen Parker have been invited to lecture on college campuses, only to have violent riots break out in response. In fact, a Brookings Institution survey finds that 1 in 5 college students believe that it's appropriate to use violence against these speakers. Imagine 1/5 of this audience believing that it's okay to smash windows, to throw chemical bombs, and to pull out literal weapons against one person's 2-hour lecture. Because of our lack of inclusive discussion, we are seeing a growingly sensitive student body who've chosen to take up swords and little pens. But our issues aren't just limited to the classrooms. The Pew Research Center reports that Republicans and Democrats are more divided along ideological lines than any point in the last 2 decades, and that the majority of Americans identify politics as a driving force of clash, rather than factors such as ethnicity or religion. Simply put, if we continue to choose avoiding controversial topics, we are going to see more hate in this country. And I've already had some personal experience with this. I am liberal. My mother is conservative. I wanted Hillary. She wanted Trump. And we fought almost every single day over immigration policies, military spending, the stock market, anything that you can think of, we probably argued over it. It got to the point where I would just have to shut down the conversation and stop talking for hours and sometimes even days. But all that changed when I saw what I had become. After the election, I had people tell me that my mother is a bad person, that she's a piece of trash. I saw people erase every good that she is, her determination to make it in a new country, her self-sacrifice to give me a good education. I saw her go from Yun-Jae, proud mother and brilliant scientist, to idiot Republican. I saw my attitude for what it was: hate, conflict, and ignorance. But just like how I stepped up and mended my relationship with my mother, by at least trying to understand where her perspective came from, so can we. This moves me to my final point. If we truly want to end all the hateful ideas plaguing our country, misogyny, the racism, the homophobia, we need to embrace open discussion. Much of this movement to censor out information is due to the desire to protect ourselves from these hurtful concepts. But when we limit discussion, we limit our ability to do so. We can't stop talking about issues like rape and racism and expect them to be magically solved. We can't use violence against another human being and expect their opinions to be changed. We can't create a loving world if all we're throwing into it is hate. We all have the right to be angry. We all have the right to be scared. But let's use those emotions not for blindness, violence, or to hide ourselves away, but rather to make change. We can make an equal world, a world where anybody can feel safe in any space. But to do so, we have to be bold, and we have to discuss. We need to remember that this isn't a war zone. This is our home.